the flapping hand bridge. So it has the upward and the downward component. Let's start off playing around with it against cross punching. So your partner's going to start off doing their cross punching, coming down the center with the chain punching technique. So Carlson starts with the chain punch, and what you're going to do is you're going to apply the flapping hand bridge as a defensive movement. Now, so what that looks like is keep going. So what am I doing here? I'm keeping my focus towards his center, making contact with his arm and wrist, and just taking it off its trajectory as I keep my focus towards him. So as I always keep my focus at Carlson. I'm not pushing down or up. This is a common mistake for beginners, is that they will press down against their partner's force. Now, if Carlson presses down against, see how it's easy to let it run and open up the center to hit him. Whereas if he keeps his focus forward to me and thinks of it more as though this is a circle, this is an extension of a circle, and this circle is trying to roll towards me, then as I try to put pressure into him, it's more difficult, and if I take my hand away, he goes forward. So you always have a forwardness, even though the shoulder joint's rotating up and down, you still have that projection forward. So the limb moves up and down, but the direction of your intention, the direction of your mass and energy is forward, so that you prevent them from hitting you. So, as Carlson goes for the chain punch, I maintain forward focus, slow it down a little bit. I maintain forward focus, make contact with approximately wrist and forearm, keeping my wrist approximately on the center, so you'll see how I'm staying in front of the center line here. Other hand up for guard as he punches through. I can switch hands. Now it doesn't really matter, like the formation, whether you come up on the left side or down on the left side, doesn't really matter, as long as you're making contact and stopping them from hitting you. So you can start off stationary, getting a feel for this. Yeah? Switching hands, keeping one hand up for guard, using the flapping hand bridge as a defending maneuver. Now, then your partner can start to move around, so they move back and you can follow them. Switching hands and following the movement here. So you're getting used to using the flapping hand bridge as a deflecting movement. Keep the focus forward to them, and you'll start to find that their punch kind of helps move it for you. So as Carlson goes to punch through towards me, it kind of moves my hand for me. I maintain that forward pressure, and as he continues to punch, yeah, it's somewhat, of course it's cooperative, because if it wasn't cooperative, he could kick me and throw punches around the outside. But it starts to feel as though your hand's kind of going with what they're doing. Yeah? Yes, you do have to make contact, and I don't just leave my hand here and let him chain punch me in the face. I do have to move my arm in the way. But there is a level of utilizing his punching pressure to redirect. Okay, so Carlson's turn. So you start off stationary. Keeping the other hand up for guard. Raising and dropping the bridge to prevent me from striking through. Switching hands. And then they can start to move around, so that you're also working on tracking. Remember, tracking exercise, staying focused on my center, tracking forward, not tracking forward. Switching hands. And then you can increase the speed as well if they feel comfortable, start to punch faster, giving them a go at applying the flapping hand bridge a bit more dynamically. So that's a simple exercise to get you into the feeling of the flapping hand bridge as a defensive movement. Things to think about: maintain uprightness, focus your body forward towards them. So I maintain uprightness so that I have the strength and the structure of my spine supporting the movements. I keep everything focused on my opponent, so everything's going towards him as I do it. I keep upright, keep punching. I keep focused towards Carlson. As he moves, I track him. Yeah? I keep going with him, yeah? So that I'm used to staying locked on to my opponent or connected to them. Yeah? Maintain forward intent. I'm not pushing down or pushing up. I'm going forward as the hands move up and down in space. So everything's flowing and targeted forward as the hands go up and down to maintain that level of protection of my center. So I'm not pushing downward here. So Carlsen pushes down. Yeah, see what happens? Yeah? He aims forward. Everything goes forward as the hand comes down. Yeah? So that as I try to push through, he still has a layer of protection. So keep focus forward. Keep tracking. Keep the other hand up for guard. Simple exercise to play around with, get a feeling for the flapping hand bridge. You can also, if you're on your own, once again, you're just going to have to imagine there's someone there, yeah, and play around with the movements. Although, really, get into the Brotherhood map and put your location there and find someone to train with. You're going to need that soon coming into the next level. Any questions, put them in the community, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.